Good morning. Nice to see you, and I'm really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to meet us. Just a few questions, and have a little chat about who you are. Were you born here, raised here, educated here, or were you an out of towner?
Mohammed Rauf, Police Inspector Huddersfield North Neighbourhood Police Team, born and bred in Huddersfield. I've lived in Huddersfield all my life. I've lived in the same area, in fact the same house, my entire life.
Wow. Okay. So how long have you been in the forces? And just another question: did you always wanted to be a police officer? When did this come about?
The urge to become a police officer actually started around the 16 mark. Just before I left school, we had a careers event, and for some reason I was focused towards joining the police service. I've now attained 20 and a half years service, 12 of which I spent with South Yorkshire Police, and 8 I've spent with West Yorkshire Police.
You've got an award, haven't you, for long-serving police officer and good conduct. Do you have it with you at all?
Yes, here I have the medal itself. It's for long service and good conduct. That was presented to me this year for having attained 20 years service.
When did the dream or the ambition or the aspiration ever came to you to be a police officer? When did it start?
It started at the age of 16 during the careers advice event at Moor End High School, as it was then. It took me a number of years to actually fulfil that dream, because at that time recruitment was taking place, albeit at a small, with small numbers, and it wasn't until South Yorkshire, I contacted South Yorkshire Police and actually managed to get an interview that I joined them in 1992.
Okay, so 1992, I would still say the police was very much seen as an institution that had lots of prejudice, stereotyping, and arguably institutional racism. Did you experience that when you first started?
My first posting was in Rotherham, and yes, there was the banter. But I have to say, the first 18 months of my service spent in Rotherham have been the best of my career to date. I haven't enjoyed any other time anywhere else other than at Rotherham. Rotherham itself is quite a diverse area, but since my time in the police service, it would be foolish of me to say that everything's perfect. I think we have progressed. Unfortunately, it's taken events and action by communities, more notably the murder of Stephen Lawrence and the problems that his parents faced in obtaining justice, that have actually culminated in a vast number of changes within the organisation. We've now got a more diverse group of police officers from different backgrounds, from different groups. The European borders have now opened up, so there's more officers coming from there as well. We've seen numerous changes in how racist and homophobic incidents are reported and dealt with, and the action that we take with perpetrators. CPS and the law have changed as well to accommodate such offences of racially aggravated and homophobic offences as well.
Speaking of changes within the police force, I've noticed this summer that at the Deaton Carnival there were more black officers there, and also at the G50 Festival at Greenhead Park there were several black officers there. Is that the way policing is going within Kirklees now?
Change has got to come, and we've had change over a number of years, and I personally believe that change has got to come from the heart. It's an idea that I actually developed in Kirklees when I first came to the division. We have a number of officers from various backgrounds. Some are more visible than others through the colour of the skin, others through skills that they've learned and developed over the years. On the back of that, I actually built a database of officers with different skills. So based on the culture, based on the religion, based on their education, based on the sexual background. So the idea of getting certain officers to certain events it isn't about those officers solely being used for those events. It's about those officers paving the way and giving a better understanding to officers who may not understand different groups of people within our community, and actually pave the way for them to go forward. So this year and last year we had PC Mel Watley, we had Keith Henry and Jam Jones at the events, and they actually came back because the community wanted them to come back. But there were a number of other white officers there as well, and I think for them it's an excellent experience because it gives they are role models within our community, and they can pave the way to show how best to integrate.
I must say I was very impressed with the policing at both of them events. You had a presence there, but you wasn't up front. People knew that the police were there, but you wasn't in anybody's faces and everything else. And I think both of those events went very smoothly. Obviously, the organisation of the event was very good, and I do feel that the policing was first class.
Thank you.
So, with regards to you being an inspector, then, how long have you been an inspector?
I've been inspector for 20 and a half years now.
20 years.
20 years.
Wow. Are you the only Asian inspector in Kirklees?
In Kirklees, yes. Force-wide, we do have a number of Asian inspectors.
Okay. How does that make you feel as the only one in Kirklees?
Well, I feel quite proud that I've attained the rank of inspector. I've been an inspector for 10 years now, and I'm more than happy and settled in the role. In fact, I was the first ever Asian inspector promoted to that rank within South Yorkshire.
Wow.
But I came across here. And I said I do feel quite proud, and I do feel that with my knowledge, with my background, and with my understanding of all my communities, that we can and are making changes.
Mm-hmm. So what does your role consist of then as an inspector?
I work and cover the Huddersfield North Neighbourhood Police Team, and that incorporates the Lindley, the Ashbrow and Greenhead wards. In this building, even though it's a small building, I have 3 sergeants and a team of 40 constables and PCSOs split across 3 shifts. And our role is to engage with all our communities and deal with some of the low-level issues that have a greater effect and impact on our communities. An example, if I can draw on one, was the aftermath of the unfortunate murder of Mr. Gurmeel Singh. Now, the potential following that incident was quite immense, but the work that my team and I and officers throughout Kirklees conducted helped to bring communities together through a number of events that we held with local community leaders, including our councillors as well. So the idea there is actually to bring communities together, gain a better understanding of what is happening, what we need to do to prevent any issues taking place.
So how does your faith incorporate with your role as a practicing Muslim?
I would describe myself as a moderate Muslim, but I don't see any religion any different to any other religion. I was born a Muslim, I am a Muslim, I choose to be a Muslim, and I'm very proud of being a Muslim. But my religion, as I've said, like every other religion, it's not just Islam, teaches everybody to be tolerant, teaches everybody to respect each other and respect each other's faiths, cultures and religions. And that's why I go out of my way to actually involve myself with as many community events as I possibly can. I will attend Sikh temples, the Hindu temples, I will go to churches, just to show that it's, even though I'm a Muslim, that I can actually learn and get involved in other cultures and religions as well.
How does your faith influence your role as a police officer?
I'm a Muslim, and I would describe myself as a moderate Muslim. I don't think there's any religion out there that is any different to any other. And Islam, like Christianity, Hinduism, will encourage tolerance and actually encourage people to learn about each other's cultures and religions. For me personally, I don't see my religion as a barrier of sorts. I actually really enjoy visiting other religious establishments and learning about other religions and other communities, because after all, Huddersfield North is a very diverse community. It's my community. I have responsibility for policing my communities, and I absolutely and thoroughly enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. So, with regards to your faith and your role as an inspector, then you just recently celebrated Ramadan, and how was the police institution, as an institution, supportive of you praying and fasting and celebrating Ramadan?
In my role, West Yorkshire Police has never stopped me from practising my religion. Part of my role is engagement, and I will visit the mosque, and if I have chance I will pray. I will visit other religious establishments. Insofar as Ramadan's concerned, I've been allowed to change my shifts somewhat just to accommodate the long hours of Ramadan, especially as we have them now. I didn't choose to do that because I found it much easier to wake up at a given time and do a full shift. But I know that I would have the support of the senior managers at Kirklees should I require anything. Eid, I believe that fell on a weekend, if I can recall. Yes, it fell on the weekend. I normally have weekends off. But I know my other colleagues of a Muslim background were allowed to take the break times at times when it was time to terminate the fast and commence the fast as well. So we were given a certain amount of flexibility to practice our religion.
Excellent.